If you've ever felt dismissed, confused, or stuck in the space between symptoms and answers, you're not alone. This is What's My Body Telling Me, with me, Dr. Anthea Todd, the podcast where we believe your body isn't the problem, it's the solution. Together, we'll explore how to understand the messages your body sends through symptoms, how to support yourself through every stage of life, and why functional health, medicine, and energetics are all key to understanding and supporting your body. Here, we let feeling good become the baseline because life's too short to feel anything but alive. So, are you ready to start listening differently? Let's get into today's episode. If you've ever felt stuck in the consult room, your female patient is burnt out, hormonal, anxious, and every test says she's fine, it's not you, it's the system. The Female Fundamentals Practitioner Training gives you a practical framework to guide women lost in the space between symptoms and solutions. You'll learn directly from me and two brilliant experts and walk away with tools you can use straight away. Our live virtual intensive starts November 15th to 16th, with self-paced modules open now. You can join us via the link in the description. Have you ever not known what to do for your body? If you're listening to this, I would hazard a guess that yes, you have felt like this, and I felt like it too. And in today's episode, I wanted to help you listen to your body differently by giving you what I call the Toddler Test. So lately, I have had a lot of patients that I've been using this analogy with, and they love it. So I thought, well, why not bring it to the podcast? And it's actually something that I ran through with myself last week when I was just realizing, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm crying and I don't really know why I'm crying. And I'm also getting this sort of flank pain around my kidneys, and I know it's not that it's medical. I don't have fevers. I've been to the doctor. It's not a kidney infection. There's nothing going on with my kidneys, nothing going on with my bladder. All the things have been ruled out. I'm like, what is my body trying to tell me? So whether it's something like, I feel really tired and exhausted around that 4 p.m. time, or I notice that I crave sugar at this time, or I don't really feel hungry in the mornings and I don't really have much of an appetite. So thinking about different symptoms from your body, those ones that are the beige flags, the ones that we're not like, whoa, I'm really concerned about this and I need medical attention. They're the ones that we sort of find a bit of a nuisance, or the ones that we classify as normal because they're so common. So whether it's an irregular period, or you're noticing that you have PMS more so this month compared to last month, or as I said, you're feeling like, I'm crying, but I don't necessarily know why I'm crying. So this is where you can do the Toddler Test. And the Toddler Test, as I refer to it, is basically, as it says, when you're noticing that you have symptoms and you don't know what to do, run through these 5 things, because your body is much like a toddler. Your body actually can't speak to you in words, it speaks to you in symptoms. So much like a toddler, I'm an auntie of 3 young toddlers, or 4 or 5 now, 2 of them are babies, but 3 of them are toddlers. And when they were unable to speak and say what they needed, their body language, their symptoms would tell us what they needed. And when you have been around a toddler, you usually run through 5 things that they need of why they're unsettled. So, are they tired? Are they rubbing their eyes? They have red around their eyes. Maybe they're tired. Are they hungry or thirsty? Do they need a cuddle or connection? Have they been outside and played, moved their body? And do they need their nappy changed? Do they have those basic needs met? So those are the 5 things that you'll run through when it comes to a toddler. The same thing we can do with our body. We just extrapolate it out to being an adult human, not a toddler human. So when you are noticing something like that 3 p.m. sugar craving, you're at your office and you're like, you know what, I'm craving sugar. And I was talking to a patient about this last week. She's like, yeah, I'm just so diligent, so in control of everything throughout the day. I measure everything. I'm eating only organic, all the things. And then she's like, and then around like 4 p.m., I've eaten all the protein, all the things, but I'm just noticing that I'm getting like really hungry for that sugar. I need that sugar. And she's like, and then I'll just go and smash 2 Snickers bars. And she's like, and then I was like, oh, that's okay. I'll just work it off at the gym. So you can see how a pattern like this can get you into a loop of shaming yourself, over-exercising, feeling like you have a lot of head noise around food, and you can get stuck in that and you can think that you are the problem. It's just because you don't have that willpower or that strength to be able to come up against that. But really, that hunger or that sugar craving or sometimes that tiredness around that time is actually your body trying to tell you something. And what I said to her that really drove it home was, okay, well, if you had a toddler that was really tired or they were really wanting some love, would you give them a Snickers bar? Like if they were like craving sugar, being really agitated, would you give them a Snickers bar? And she laughed and she's like, absolutely not. I would not give them a Snickers bar. That would just send them off the rails. It's like, yeah. Same thing happens in our body, but the thing is we get the messages skewed. We think, oh, I'm craving sugar. I need sugar, so I'm going to have the sugar. And something that you can think about when I say, oh, listen to your body and give your body what it needs, if you're like, well, I'm craving sugar, so why wouldn't I give my body sugar? There's a point where you ask yourself, is this a loving thing to do for my body? Much like a toddler can come to you and be like, I want chocolate, I want chocolate, I want chocolate. And sometimes you might give it to them. But if you were always to give them chocolate, is that a loving thing to do? Because you know they're going to be dysregulated. They're not going to sleep well. You know they're going to act up. You know they're not going to be able to concentrate. They're going to have different emotional outbursts. So you know it's not a loving choice. But possibly they might go to a birthday party and maybe they have some sugar at that birthday party. But in terms of that being a loving choice, you have to determine, well, the downside of them having a piece of cake and being able to be at this party and have fun and join in, well, there's upsides and downsides. So this is where there's that other frame where you can go, okay, would I do this for a toddler? And is this a loving choice? Is this a loving choice for myself? Because sometimes we can be so strict on ourselves and it's coming from a place of fear, of control, that we forget to live and be connected to that part of ourselves. So this is where a toddler test is so incredibly helpful when it comes to any part of your health. So when you are noticing, you look in the mirror and you're noticing acne, or you're noticing that you're crying at the drop of a hat for no apparent reason, or you're getting that 3 p.m. sugar hit, or you need that sugar hit, run through the toddler test. So, am I tired? Have you rested? How was your sleep? Are you exhausted? Have you been running and burning the candle at both ends? Are you tired? Do you actually need rest? And maybe it's not that you need sleep, but you need time for yourself to do what you want to do. You're tired of doing things that you feel like you should do. And I've got podcast episodes talking about shoulds. You're tired of doing things that you don't really want to do, and you're not doing the things that you do want to do. So thinking about that tiredness in that frame of mind. Then, are you hungry or thirsty? AKA, are you nourished? So if you're noticing that you have these different symptoms, or maybe you're noticing that you have PMS or painful periods, or in my case, as you all know, skin issues, are you nourished? Like, have you had enough protein, fats, carbs? I know when I was younger, one of 5 kids, we would often ask for sugary things and things that sort of taste nice but aren't necessarily nourishing. And it wasn't that my mum ever limited at that, but it was always, oh, make sure you have an apple, some protein, some fats, eat these things first. And then if you're still hungry and you want that, you can have it. But most of the time we weren't, or it would actually limit the amount that we would have of those sugary or processed things because we were actually nourished. So if you're noticing that you're not nourished, and what I mean by nourished is that we've had proteins and fats for our day and there's a little bit of carbs. That's what we want to focus on. And when you have variety, you're getting a good mix of nourishment with that. But if you are running off coffee or energy drinks, cereal, mueslis, not having protein in your meals or not focusing on that, then your body is lacking nourishment because we need proteins, fats, and carbs to build different chemicals in our body. We need them for serotonin, dopamine, fats. We need them for hormones. We need them for enzymes. So It's not about having a bias or a mindset of carnivore or vegetarian or vegan or whatever it is. It's just looking at, well, every person's body and the chemicals inside it that trigger the actions to feel certain ways require proteins, fats, and carbs. So if you're not getting enough proteins and fats, particularly because a lot of carb stuff, most of the time people are getting enough carbs, if not too much. If you can focus on, oh, did I get enough proteins and fats in that meal? Great. Then the carbohydrates generally seep in. So that's the other thing. Am I nourished? So am I tired? Am I nourished? First two. Do I need a cuddle or connection? So have you been by yourself or have you been around people that you don't feel connected to? Do you need soothing? So that's the other thing. Reach out to someone that you care about. Create connection within yourself. And this can look like, I like to do sort of self-massage, even just massaging my hands or just even sitting still and connecting with my body, saying hello to all of the different organs and things in my body. And if you're not someone that knows anatomy inside and out, you can just say hello to your ear, to your hands, to your feet, to your legs. So it's really important to take the time to connect with your body, because sometimes if you're someone that's like, oh, I have had all this connection with people, but you don't feel charged up or calm after that, often what's happening is that you are connecting with other people at the cost of disconnecting with yourself. So it's about being able to connect with yourself first and foremost, and then aligning with people that you really love to connect with as well. You know your body better than anyone. So why do your test results say everything's normal when you don't feel normal? Fatigue, bloating, period pain, mood swings, anxiety, these aren't random. Your body isn't broken, and these symptoms aren't just something you have to live with. They're signals that something deeper is going on. That's where Test Your Fundamentals comes in. Using a hair tissue mineral analysis, or HTMA, this test gives you a 3-month report card of how your body's been functioning, internally and externally. It shows you exactly what's happening beneath the surface, so you can stop guessing and start listening to your body in a different way. Unlike standard blood tests, HTMA reveals nutrient imbalances, heavy metal exposure, and deficiencies that could be impacting your energy, hormones, metabolism, and mental clarity. It doesn't just tell you what's happening, it tells you why. With Test Your Fundamentals, you'll get a personalized HTMA test, an easy to understand breakdown of your results, access to practitioner quality supplements tailored to your body's needs, and lifestyle recommendations to support all 4 of your fundamentals, so you can take action that actually makes a difference. If you've been told that everything looks fine, but you know something isn't right, it's time to dig deeper. Visit femalefundamentals.com.au to order your Test Your Fundamentals hair test today. There's also a link in the show notes. It's not what's wrong with me, it's what's my body trying to tell me. Fourth, have you been outside and played, moved your body? We know as a toddler, if they've been pent up inside, watching a screen all day, eating processed foods or even eating nourished foods, how are they going to be behaving? Not very good. So what's the difference between if you have been sitting at your desk all day looking at a computer screen and you get to that 3 p.m. time and you're like, oh, I just need sugar. It's like, do you need that? Or do you need to get up, move, change position, move your body, go outside? It's like, oh, that's actually what I needed. It wasn't that I was craving the sugar. It was actually that my body needed that. So when you're noticing different symptoms, subtle ones, run through this checklist. So that one is being outside and playing, because when we're outside, we're charging up with the sun. It's great for our energy. It's great for our mitochondrial health, which is the energy powerhouses of our cells. And it's also setting the circadian rhythm. It's helping our body know what time it is. And when our body knows that, it also knows what to do with our gut clock, what to do with our menstrual cycle clock, what to do with our energy clock. So our sleep improves, our hormones improve, our gut improves, because we've been able to be outside and move our body. Remember, if you're like, do I need this, do I not? Would a toddler need it? Lastly, have they had the nappy change? So for the vast majority of you, I'm guessing you're not wearing a nappy. But what I mean by that is, have your basic needs been met? Have you been able to go to the toilet when you need to? Or are you someone that's like, you know what, I've been constipated for 10 days. It's like, you're going to be feeling a bit agitated. Are you really stressed and worried about finances? Do you not have a house to live in? So this is where those basic needs need to be met, because a child that doesn't have those basic needs met, we know, has all of these knock-on effects with the susceptibility of them having chronic diseases in the future. So when we don't have a safe environment and our basic needs met as a young child, that has knock-on effects. It's the same thing regardless of what happened to you when you were a child. If you're not caring for your basic needs now, then the symptoms can come out. So again, what are these 5 things? You're noticing that you have some symptoms, or you're feeling agitated, you're just feeling like, I don't really know what's going on inside my body. And I feel like I'm doing these different behaviors that aren't necessarily really helping me. I feel shame about them, or I don't really have much self-compassion with them. I'm just not really liking how I'm feeling. Run through this test. Am I tired? Am I nourished, so hungry or thirsty? Do I need cuddle or connection with someone that I love or myself? Have I been outside and have I played? Have I moved my body? And lastly, are my basic needs met? That nappy change. So an example of this as well for me, and I'm going to do a longer podcast talking about the full extent of it, but last week as well, I thought I had kidney infection. And it was subsequent to a UTI, which I had developed. I used to get them all the time when I was younger, and just sort of came out of the blue. And after that UTI, I started to get really persistent flank pain. And to the point where if I would step walking, it would reverberate up into my flank, which is sort of on the sides of your lower rib cage is where your flank is. And that's exactly where your kidneys live. So I was thinking, this UTI might have progressed to a kidney infection. I'm taking some antibiotics for that. I really don't want to, but also I really want to functioning kidneys. So I'd rather do that. And I started to get what felt like fevers. I was hunched over. I was thinking, do I need to go to emergency? And then I just waited and went to the doctor, did all the tests. And the test came back that nothing was wrong. Sound familiar? But the good thing is we know what to do when that happens. So medically, nothing wrong. Kidneys functioning well, all of the other bloods working well, all the other internal organs, great. No infections. Amazing. That was really great news. But the pain was still there. I was thinking, okay, well, what's going on here? This pain also can be mimicked by adrenal glands. Your adrenal glands, or your stress glands, sit on top of your kidneys. Adrenal. Your renals are your kidneys, so additional to the renal glands, sitting on top. So you can get the same type of pain come out from your adrenal glands. And basically, without getting too much into detail, I'll do this in another episode, the UTI was coming up for an energetic reason. I was releasing things from the past. And kidneys, if we think about energetics, are fear. And my body was essentially releasing what had been stored in my body for that amount of time. I did a specific trauma therapy with a wonderful practitioner, and my body was basically just recalibrating. But I knew that because I also checked, okay, I medically didn't have an infection. I really needed to make sure of that. I took the antibiotics just in case, and the UTI also subsided. But my adrenal glands were still doing that, even though I didn't have any elevated inflammatory markers or infection markers in my body. And what I also realized, I'm like, okay, that's still going. And I was working and working and working. I felt amazing after the session. I was like, this is incredible. I've got all this energy. But my body was just really screaming at me with these adrenal pain or this flank pain. And I was crying, and I was like, I'm not sad. I'm not upset. I actually feel really great. My body is like, okay, my body's just cleansing. It's doing these things. And it wasn't until I just stopped and I did this toddler test. I was like, okay, what does my body need? Am I nourished? I'm like, yeah, I'm eating. I actually have a great appetite, which is awesome. Cuddle and connection. I'm surrounded by amazing people, and it's been incredible. Not that. Outside and play. Yes, I've been able to move my body. I'm outside. It's great. Basic needs met. Yes, they're covered. Rested. Probably not. And this is where, when I asked myself, what do I need? Was like, you need everyone to leave you alone. and that for me is like when it's like, okay, you just need a rest. And that's what I did. I took the whole day off work the next day and sat in the sun, nourished my body, was around people that I loved, and then the pain went away. So this is where it seems so basic. But let me tell you, when something seems so basic, it generally is something that is going to be worthwhile doing, because we can get caught down rabbit holes of chasing different things. But really, when we do the fundamental things that our body needs, and if you forget what they are, just go, what does a toddler need? And you give your body those things, most of the time, our issues start to subside. So what are you going to do the next time you're noticing symptoms? You look in the mirror and you've got acne, you're getting period pain, you're noticing that you feel tired around 3, 4 p.m. You're always hungry all the time. So, okay, what are the things that a toddler needs? Am I tired? Or am I tired of doing stuff I actually don't want to do? Am I saying yes to things that I want to say no to? And also, what are the things I'm saying no to that I actually really want to do? So what are you waiting for permission from someone else to do? So that's where you can go, okay, I'm going to start doing that. Are you hungry? Are you thirsty? Have you been well nourished? Are you looking after your body, nourishing it? Do you need a cuddle and connection? Are you surrounded by people that love you and you love them? Have you been outside? Have you played? Have you moved your body? And lastly, are your basic needs met? So when you hear them, which one sticks out to you the most? You might have several. There might be one. Run through that and do your best to be the parent to your inner toddler and look after those things, and notice how your body responds differently. This is what it means to listen differently to your body. Your symptoms are not the problem, they're a solution. Until next time, I'll see you later. If this episode resonated with you, take a moment to think of the woman in your life who might need this too. Maybe it's a friend who's been feeling exhausted, a sister searching for answers to chronic symptoms, or someone who just needs the reminder that feeling good in her body is her natural baseline. And if you haven't already, subscribing is the best way to spread this message and make sure you keep getting the answers and resources you need. Together, we're redefining how women connect with their bodies. And I'm so grateful to have you as part of this community. So, I invite you to get curious with me. If your body isn't the problem, it's the solution, what do you think your body's trying to tell you today? Please remember, this episode is for educational purposes only. Always consult a qualified health practitioner before making any medical decisions. Every body is different, and so is every healing journey.